do want to see. I've had this video saved. I kind of forgot about it completely, and it said, "Should you still play Strinova in 2025?" I don't know. Has the game been dead yet? Has it died out yet? I don't know. Let me see. Hold on, Steam charts. How's it hanging in there? Because I know it's been losing players. It's kind of been bleeding players. It's not bad. Yeah, it's going up and down. It's gained 382 players in the last 30 days. At least it got a positive, at least, you know?
I can top that, cause I influenced the certified Twitter users to actually use the Japanese historical documents in order to debunk AC, shadows and expose
Top what?
Thomas Lockley. Hell, some Japanese Twitter users also noticed me and helped me expose every Asuke bootlickers on Twitter by giving me extra informations that's not even available on their online historical documentations.
I'm curious. Let me see. Is it still viable?
It's been more than 2 months since Strinova has launched, and we're well into its second season. With its unique mechanics enabling characters to turn into paper and transformative gameplay, Strinova had a promising launch as an anime shooter. But here we are. Is the game dead? Taking into account both Steam and those that play through the Strinova client, the player base is anywhere from 8,000 to 14,000 per day, making it a small but tight-knit community. Just for comparison, Marvel Rivals, which came out about the same time as Strinova, averages a concurrent 300,000 players per day. So the marketing at Strinova has been quite lacking and is actually one of the main complaints of the game. But a game doesn't have to be that popular to be alive, and even with its small population, Strinova has a very devoted fanbase, responsive developers, and a competitive scene in its early stages. I will say this is my raw, unfiltered feelings of the game, and I am not getting paid for this video. Everything I say here will be as truthful as possible, so if Strinova wants to stop working with me after this, my fault. So knowing that the game isn't that popular, should you still play Strinova? When it comes to the product itself, Strinova is great. It delivers a lot on features that are overlooked in other games. One of the most underrated ones, the social aspect. It starts with the union feature, which players can band together to create a clan. Members—
I'll be honest with you, I've never even bothered using the union thing, you know? That's not a good comparison. You got Marvel versus new IP. Yeah, that's very true. You're not wrong on that situation.
Gain merit from playing with each other, which in turn can level the union and earn rewards like pulls for skins and other cosmetics. Strinova also offers a friendship level feature where the more you play with your friends, the more benefits you can have. For example, at friendship level 5, queuing with a friend allows you to share your skins with them. While this feature isn't necessarily groundbreaking, it promotes a sense of community, especially for casual players, to team up and make friends.
Oh really? That's pretty cool. I did not know that was a thing, that you can share skins with one another at level 5. Oh, that's pretty cool.
Sense of community
Friends
also
with
extends
benefits
into
on another level,
the content creation. Strinova has done a good job giving recognition to those who make content within the space. Recently, they've created a creator program of up to $100,000 to any creator that makes Strinova media, a pretty organic way of marketing the game and supporting the Strinova creators within its ecosystem.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
And this local support isn't just limited to video creators. Skilled players and pros are given a platform where they can offer coaching to anyone in its Discord. There's also ample support for artists, as they're awarded with money or in-game premium currency for their involvement in winning art contests.
That's
There's
cool.
even a competition right now to get your fan art directly into the game. However, with all this native support for its creators, Strinova suffers from a lack of reach outside its circle. The majority of the content in this game is just guide and ranked content, which doesn't exactly do well for someone that doesn't know the game in the first place.
Yeah, it doesn't really cater towards the casuals. You know, casuals don't really care about, you know, rank or competitiveness in these kinds of games. That's how some of these games usually die out or so, because they cater too much on the whole competitive side instead of just having a fun game.
But I believe there is so much potential for Strinova to reach a larger audience.
It does.
The replay system is still underutilized for creating content, and when executed correctly, it gets people interested into Strinova. That leaves
I can do it better.
my last point. how does this game feel competitively? As someone who can't stand playing unrated in any game, Ranked is in a pickle. Currently, Ranked does not have enough players nor incentive to play. Games pop in lower ranks pretty easily at peak hours, but players at the highest rank only manage to play a few games per day because there aren't enough people playing Ranked. This is likely due to Strinova's marketing so far that has been appealing to mostly casual players as opposed to competitive ones.
The problem is, you know, the competitive scene is just not that popular now these days. No one wants to sweat out, you know. No one wants to sweat it out after, you know, coming home from work or anything like that. That's just the problem, you know?
And I mean, I don't blame esports players for not trying this game. Strinova looks really goofy and not remotely competitive.
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Oh my god.
And they do a less than ideal job at showing professional gameplay. So is it Strinova for this game's competitive lifeline? Well, I have hope. Prior to Strinova's launch, I had a quick chat with the creators behind the game, and it seemed that they very much wanted to turn the game into an esport, and were already having talks of where to host its next major competition.
That's the problem. That's a terrible mindset to have immediately for a game like this. Just your new IP just barely launching and you want to make it competitive already? Bro, you haven't even put your foot in the door yet for like to have a wide audience, you know? It's a new IP. Plus also you came out during the time when freaking Marvel Rivals was coming out too as well, which was going to hinder the shit out of your, you know, out of your fan base pretty harshly because you also have the game mode push the payload as well. I'm like, I think there was like a specific game where like the devs were talking about like, we want to make a fun game and then we talk about competitiveness later, you know? Yeah, that's how you easily, if they're gonna start focusing mostly on competitiveness, like off the bat, this game is not gonna survive very long, to be honest. I can tell. It's gonna have a very niche audience.
In late 2025. And with the first tournament, Mighty Meow Cup, underway, we're seeing the potential that Strinova Esports has, giving birth to some of the craziest clips seen to date.
About to get jumped in, misses the shot, Blexus takes down Bree. Does he takes down a city from Blexus.
Yeah, look at this.
Finds bullets onto Aqua. TP out. Uses a different TP. The TP mind games are faked. He goes ahead. Kato's looking. Kato's blocking the shots. TP goes in again. Can he find the shot? Yes, he can! Blexus!
The tournament has a $2,000 prize pool, which isn't big by any means, but gives us a glimpse as to the possibilities of a competitive Strinova. So what can Strinova do to stay alive? Let's examine the problem. The general consensus amongst Strinova players is that the game's marketing is poor. This thread from 2 months ago accurately predicted its current player base, with many comments saying that the game's advertising is just ineffective. One comment says, "To be honest, I only came to the game from a video I saw on Twitter. It wasn't even an advertisement. It was a random dude showing the Stringify gimmick, which at the moment I thought it was a bug." Other comments suggest that its FPS players and gacha players get confused as to what the game actually is. And maybe it's the ambiguous nature of their trailers that are
It is kind of a little bit weird too as well that like they have a gacha system in this like FPS game, which I think is a little bit weird. So they're trying to cater to the gacha people, but then they're also trying to cater towards the people who enjoy like, you know, third person or FPS kind of type of way. And then they have like the whole hero kind of aspect at it, but at the same time like the abilities aren't really that overpowered or so. It's the guns that they use. Well, actually I think there's like one or two that are pretty strong.
Presented by a slew of corporate music and boring gameplay that drives competitive players away and only invites gacha players. And I mean, with the popularity of titles like Genshin and its anime aesthetic, and Valorant with its kinda cartoony but very competitive game, Strinova should, in theory, be able to succeed. I like to compare Strinova to Fate Triggered, an unreleased anime shooter which launched a playtest in late 2024.
I remember.
It's arguably more Gunner coded than Strinova and was extremely unoptimized on its playtest. But
never had a problem or so with the game itself.
It peaked at 61,000 viewers on Twitch and seems to have a lot of interest behind it. I feel like Fate Trigger did something right with the trailer in showing both a cinematic feel and demonstrating gameplay at the same time. Now, credit where credit is due. Strinova's trailer is equally good or even better cinematic-wise, but you don't really know what you're signing up for. For a complicated game like Strinova, I think combining cinematic and gameplay makes for a better trailer that'll be able to convert more people.
It's FPS, gotcha, and a Gooner game.
Strinova? Not Strinova. Strinova definitely not. The other one, I don't know about Gooner. I don't think it's that Gooner, to be honest.
So what about the people they're sponsoring? Some sponsored content makes a lot of sense and probably converts pretty well. Take a look at this Yugiri cartoon from Simi and Chap Chap.
Wow.
While other sponsors don't make as much sense, like they sponsored Phantom. What? You might think that it's hard to advertise Strinova because of its unique labels, but player content shows an entirely different story. Clips on TikTok and Instagram Reels showing the paper mechanic, or actually competent gameplay, get anywhere from 200k to 4 million views, with comments showing at least some vested interest into the game. Marketing can make or break a product. I care for this game a lot, but there is a lot to improve if Strinova wants to stay alive in 2025. Then, should you get into Strinova? Well, if you find the game fun, play it. Strinova does offer a really unique experience you can't find.
It's fun, but then I've been seeing a lot of the comment section in the reviews specifically. Apparently there's been like hackers or so in the game as well. Apparently the devs haven't dealt with that apparently. I have no idea if that's true or not. I have no idea. I haven't really messed with it. I haven't played it in a while, so...
Find anywhere else. It combines features we're familiar with from games like Valorant, Overwatch, or even Guns, and scratches the itch for those who have yearned for an anime shooter. There is a valid reason to play.
I want an anime shooter, but I want it to be done very well, to be honest. That's the difference. There's literally no anime shooter games or anime or anything like anime related esque or so when it comes to these kinds of like some of the big budget, you know, games or so. I think it could do pretty successfully, but the problem is like, I don't know. I don't think this one hits the mark just yet. It's, I don't know, especially if they're going for like, if they're trying to focus on competitiveness instead of making it fun, then it's just kind of like, I don't know, man. Because you're going to be catered, because the player base is going to get smaller and smaller and smaller, and you're just only catering to people at the top percentage, like the competitive side only, so instead of catering to the casuals.
Games that are more popular because they will have more budget and support to keep the game alive. But I've seen the passion that the devs have for this game. They're listening to community feedback, acknowledging their flaws, and continuing to innovate the game. So if you haven't tried the game yet, give it a go. It might just be your cup of tea.
Like I said, I played it, right? I played the game. It's fun, but then the problem is the launch of the game itself was also rough as well, because during the beta I can play with everybody here in chat, right? I played with Dark, and you know, and Dubstep was gonna play with his friends and everything like that, right? But apparently they had, what was it region locked or something like that? They had like region locks or stuff, or whatever, server region locks or whatever, so that you couldn't be able to play with like other people. So it's just kind of like, I'm just kind of like, ugh. That was kind of lame, because I would have loved to hold like, you know, private matches with my community, because it's a free game, right? And then we can all play, you know, I can host like lobbies and stuff like that with everybody, and then we can just play on Strinova. But apparently, well, I don't know how it is now, but like now, you know, back then or so, you couldn't be able to do that. So that's also the one thing that kind of pretty much kind of made the game go downwards too. But you know, it is what it is. Personally, not a huge fan of the gacha system, at least for some of the skins. I'd rather just pay like $40 for the skin or $30 for the skin, and then just get it immediately instead of just pulling on the gacha system in order to get the skin itself. Not personally a huge fan, but that's just me though. But hey, it is what it is. Strinova in 2025. Should you still play it? Just like what he said, if you like it, yeah, go. Or if you want to try it out, go try it out, you know? I don't know. That's pretty much it. I don't know what everyone else thinks about strinova, especially like dark and dubstep, because I think these two played it, so it would have been fun. It definitely would have been fun for all of us to play, and I'll be able to hold private matches with everybody, so. Ah, man, you got gotcha games. Anyways, that's the end of the video, and